Welcome to Week Gen C.
Focused on young adults in the Northwest
And their careers in a post-pandemic world.
we chat to local experts, finding out what you can do to get yourself in the right headspace to kickstart that career.
Okay, hello Jade, how are you?
I'm good, Derval. How are you?
I'm great, thank you very much. So I'm just going to start with asking you if you can introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Of course, yes. So I'm Jade Bradley. My business is Restore Nutrition. I'm a nutritional therapist. So a lot of the work I do is the link between food and mood and how nutrition affects mental health and well-being.
Very good. And what sort of services and programs do you offer?
I do loads of different types of services and programs. So I work with individuals one-to-one, and I also work with charity and community groups. I work with private businesses. So just depends on the business that I'm working for, the individual. But I do like cooking workshops, information workshops, and I do food intolerance testing with clients and all sorts.
The whole spectrum. And how does what we eat affect how we feel? And are there any foods that can actually help our moods?
Yes, 100%. So food and mood is so closely linked. And, if we take our gut health, for example, it's so important to support our gut health because of the gut-brain connection. We've got these little chemical messengers in our body called neurotransmitters. And one of those neurotransmitters in particular is called serotonin, which is like our happy neurotransmitter. And like over 90% of that is made in our gut. So if you can picture if your gut is inflamed, it's bloated, your stomach's sore all the time, then that can jeopardize your ability to produce one of these happy neurotransmitters, serotonin. So then taking also into account that things like water, protein like our eggs, our meats, our fish and beans and lentils and stuff, and vitamin D are all building blocks of neurotransmitters. So that can, if we're not getting those in our diet, they can also jeopardize our ability to produce those happy, feel-good neurotransmitters. Plus all our nutrients, vitamins, minerals, they all feed into supporting different processes in the body. So everything's like food is so important to support our mood.
And what are the easiest things we can change to improve our diets?
So I am a big advocate of doing the main pillars, so if you're not, everybody wants a magic pill or a quick fix, something that's will be quick and easy, but drinking enough water, managing your caffeine intake, cutting out all the sugary drinks, making sure you're cutting down on your processed foods, your takeaways and things like that, making sure you're getting loads of fruit, veggies, good quality carbs, proteins and stuff like that in your diet, plus your lifestyle, your sleep, your environment, managing your stress. So it sounds like really simple things, but whenever I speak to people about it, the majority of individuals aren't actually doing it. So those things are really important.
Yeah. And do you have any suggestions for healthier snacks rather than the usual crisps and chocolate?
Well, like chocolate isn't all bad. If you're going for the right type of chocolate, like I have dark chocolate on most days, but if you're just going for like a 70% or above, rather than just like milk chocolate or white chocolate and things like that.
Yeah.
Nuts and seeds, like smoothies, fruit, your like just like little bits of veg cut up, nut butters, hummus, crackers, like even like protein balls and eggs. Kale chips are amazing as well too. Whenever people get over the initial weirdness of what they look like, they're really, really nice.
And can kale chips be bought or do you have to make them yourself?
You can buy them, but they're so easy to make. Like honestly, you just literally put your kale on an oven dish, a bit of oil, a bit of salt and pepper, you put chili or something, and it's so easy to make.
Yeah, I've made these before. They're really nice. I haven't seen them in shops, but I'll look out for them. So what inspired you to get into this business in the first place?
For me, it was for my own personal reasons why I got into nutrition. So I had really bad gut issues. I had bad anxiety as well too, always growing up. And I just felt like I didn't get that information until I was in my late 20s of how food and lifestyle and diet, they all affect your mental health and well-being. So, I had gone down the route of going to the doctors and trying to get medication and stuff, and it didn't work for me. So then I just did a whole overhaul, seen the actual results myself, felt better, looked better, was sleeping better, had more energy, the anxiety was gone. So then I went to London and studied nutrition, and then came back again. So also my dad owns his own business. So I think I've always had that like entrepreneurial streak in me. I've always seen him working for himself. And I think I just like being able to be in charge of what I'm doing as well too.
And do you think there's an advantage to working for yourself?
Yes, definitely. Like, there's a saying that says if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And like that is so true. I've worked so many different jobs, and all of them have been beneficial and giving me experience to do what I'm doing now. All of them so different. But like whenever you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. And then you've got the pride of watching your little baby like growing up. It is like having a child, like your business, and pouring everything into it. So yeah, it's definitely a really nice process.
Yeah. And what is the best thing about working for yourself? Like the number one thing that you would say to everybody? Or when you wake up in the morning, you're just like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah, for me, I really love whenever I know that I'm helping people in a way that I know that would have benefited me and benefited me. So it's like being able to have that professional experience, but also the lived experience of, having issues with my diet, having issues with my health, and being able to relate to people on that level. And also, like I seen that there was a gap there in terms of there's a lot of mental health and well-being advice out there, but not a lot of it that drills down into nutrition and how that affects your mood. And like, if you don't have that pillar of your health, it's really impossible to support your mental health properly. So like just knowing that you're making a difference, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And what is a piece of advice that you would give to young people, like college graduates or whoever, who want to start their own business?
I would just say, like, immerse yourself in the field that you're interested in, like read books, like follow people online, like read articles, podcasts, like just find the people that you vibe with and, like pick things that they do and like incorporate that into what you're doing.
Yeah.
And like, just get started. Like, don't think you have to wait until you're qualified or, start like drawing your vision boards, drawing your plans, like jotting down your ideas and not being afraid to get it wrong. Like if you look at successful people, they'll have had a lot of failures before they've actually got to the level that they're at. So, just getting started and not being afraid of being different, because I think a lot of us try to conform to, society's kind of, thoughts and how we should be. Like just thinking like it's the most off, like look at like Elon Musk and things like that. Like they just have really off the wall ideas and they're the most successful people and they end up.
Yeah. And to people who are currently say on a particular diet which is quite restrictive and they're not feeling so good in their head but they like the way they look, what would you say to them? What would your advice be? And should they change that mindset?
100%. Like we need to look at food as not just calories, but like as nutrient density and what it's what goodness is it providing to our body. Like there's so many low calorie foods out there that are actually detrimental to our health. Like they can cause inflammation in the gut. Like in the long term you might be like having that skinny waist and looking ripped and toned, but like in the long term you can be creating gut issues that might to things like cancer in later life, like hormonal imbalances. Like it's not just the aesthetic, it's how you feel. That's why like intuitive eating now is like so important. Like when you're hungry, like don't like and eat the foods that you enjoy. Like obviously like I'm not saying go and like eat McDonald's every day, but like find an alternative that's healthier. Make your own like healthy burger and chips. Or I just think like food needs to be enjoyed. Like rather than something that's always restricted. And like I don't count calories with clients. Like it's not something I promote. Like I promote eating a healthy, balanced diet. But also enjoying your treats. So like I think oh my God, you just have to enjoy food. It's such an important part of your life.
Yeah, I see a lot of people and they kind of turn to the artificial sweeteners and things, but they're seeing the results physically and they might look amazing, but they're nearly scared to have things like honey because it might have a few more calories or a bit more sugar in. But a lot of people my age, they just don't realize that just because you look good on the outside doesn't mean the internal health is there. And I think that's a message that obviously you're giving out. Like, it's not all about the outside, you need to feel good as well.
100%. That's crazy that you just said about the artificial sweeteners in the honey, because like I was actually just doing a workshop last night and having exactly the same conversation, because like artificial sweeteners are detrimental to your gut health. They're actually addictive, so the more you have them, the more you crave them, and they change your taste receptors. So like they make your ability to taste sweetness and flavor in other foods like dulled down because they're so sweet versus normal sugar. So like the effects of them are so detrimental, but so many people are hooked on them. And it's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah,
And it's
it'll just get worse.
difficulty trying. Yeah, like it's crazy. And you know, a lot of the food that we consume now is ultra processed, and the meaning of ultra processed food is that it's made up of mostly not from food. So it's all chemicals and
Yeah.
things that if it sounds like it should be in a science experiment and you can't pronounce the words on the back of the packet, then just put it down and
Okay.
don't eat it.
Yeah, you would think that's self-explanatory, but there you go. Yeah, that's a good piece of information, actually. Okay, so before we wrap up, do you have anything else that you'd like to say? Any tips for people before you go?
I think just follow your passion. I think like it's not always clear to you like initially. Like I didn't get until I was like in my late 20s, I didn't really realize what my passion and drive was. But I think like you just have to keep persevering, and that little thing that like lights you up inside, that's the thing that you're going to go with, and that's the thing that is definitely going to be the one that you want to pursue.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. It was lovely talking to you today, and yeah, there was loads of very interesting information, so thank you very much. Right, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.